everybody. Woo! Day 2 of Women in Cloud X Inspire. Here we are. Day 1 was so amazing that I wish you were there. How many of you were there? If you were, give a big round of applause out there and maybe put a few things in the chat of what did you love about day 1? Because day 1 for me was like an eye opener. There were so many amazing things. We saw the pitch campaign happen. People won things. And then we also had a panel with male leaders with Gabriella Schuster, and they talked about what they had done to help open the doors for her. And she talked about what it was like from her side. It was amazing. And today is going to be amazing too. So first off, just right now, start by putting in the chat what you're grateful for. What are you grateful for? Just in your world, what are you grateful for? It was very inspiring and motivating. Yes, so much inspiration, but what are you grateful for in your world, in your life, in your business? Just put what you're grateful for. Positive energy, life, company of women and male allies. Yes, I love that. Friends and teammates. Yes, beautiful. Me too. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm so happy to be here and your host for today. I'm Patty Dobrovolsky with Up Your Creative Genius. If you haven't met me by now, that's who I am. And I am on the board of Women in Cloud. This is one of the highlights of my world right now, is being able to participate with Women in Cloud, because we're doing some amazing things in the world. We're trying to create expansion in economic development to help women generate over 1 billion in net new global economic access. For entrepreneurs by 2030, that's our goal, in partnership with corporations and community leaders and policymakers. And we do that by having consistent community events like these. And we have a Fortune 100 and Entrepreneurial Accelerator, and we do a lot of policy advancements. So you can get involved with us any way you want. There's lots of options for you. We're super excited. We have, our goal was 500 people to come. 750 plus have registered. So we're going to see a lot more of you today. And we have so many exciting things happening. So here's how you can get involved. You can see the slide. You want to engage. You want to use the emojis down there on the bottom. Connect with people right away so that, put your LinkedIn profile in your remote platform name if you haven't already, so we can connect with you. Join us by connecting with the Women in Cloud community. There's so many other ways that you can get involved, but these are just a few of them today. Make it a choice to get involved today. Now, so today is going to be amazing because we're going to get the results from the COVID-19 results for how it impacted women's business. Now we're looking at really our session, Women in Cloud Inspire, is presented by Microsoft, our sponsor, and we're so grateful to them and all the other sponsors that have helped to lift us up here and get the organization out and launch some of the amazing programs that we have. So let's get into what's going to happen today. Here's some other sponsors. I think those are important for us to look at, especially M12 and IBM. They did some fantastic, support of us, and particularly with some of the things that are happening today. I'm going to talk about them right now. First off, we're going to have a fireside chat to talk about the state of business for women. That's what's happening first. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to have a power panel, leading digital transformation in billion-dollar industries, with Sharon. Sharon's going to moderate that. It's going to be amazing. And then we are going to have the first ever Empower Her Awards ceremony. And the sponsor for these awards is M12. They're the overall sponsor, with IBM for the awards. And this is just the most amazing thing. So you're going to learn so many things. You're going to see who's really been supportive out there. And we want to acknowledge each and every person and organization and leader who has helped to lift women up in the world. That's what it's about. That's what we're doing. Also, for you, Cloud Exec Connect is happening. So entrepreneurs, get ready to connect, because we have over 40 advisors unlocking personal access to help you get access to customers, partners, investors, strategic leaders. It's going to be an amazing day. So buckle up, because here we go. The very first thing that's going to happen today is our fireside chat. This is going to be between Chaitra Vidulapalli and Saloni Shah. And let me just introduce them briefly. Chai is the co-founder of Women in Cloud, but she's not just that. She's a super rock star. She's a COO and founder of Mela. She's a Scorpio. I would just want to say she's a digital strategist, a board member. She's been in Forbes magazine, your story contributor. She's an entrepreneur, TEDx and public speaker. She's done strategic leadership, partnerships, top 100 global change leaders, influencer, seeking opportunities to contribute to public and private boards. That's what she puts all out there for you. So remember that when you need somebody on your board, because Chai's your person. And she's going to be talking with Saloni Shah, the Senior Portfolio Development Manager at M12, which is Microsoft's venture fund. She is a Libra. So this is going to be a very balanced conversation. She's considerate, a great listener, and very intelligent. Without further ado, let's get into this fireside chat on the state of business for women entrepreneurs post-COVID. Thank you. Let's go.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you. What a great introduction. My God, you really energized the community. So first is welcome, everyone. Pretty excited to see all of you today and really talk about the report about what is the state of female tech founders in the ecosystem. Let me set the stage, and I would love, Saloni, if you can also join me on the stage with me, that would be good. Let me talk about, when COVID hit last year, we had Senator Patty Kudrar. She asked how Women in Cloud founders are doing, and do we have a meaningful data to share with the legislators? And how are we serving them in the new normal, right? The new landscape. So after talking to Karen, Gretchen, Giovanna, and the entire board of advisors, we commissioned a COVID-19 impact survey to understand the state of the ecosystem and also the impact on the businesses. When we saw the data, we were more devastated with the results, and it was more worse than we anticipated. So the reports indicated that the average loss of revenue in the next 24 months across the female tech founders surveyed across 16 countries was around $500,000 to $1 million per company. And an additional $1 million to $5 million per company is expected loss over the next 3 years. So we know that the women entrepreneurs will face more complex challenges in setting up, growing, and sustaining their tech businesses. The gender stereotype and the lack of access to finance and complex societal threats like political instability and enormous uncertainty in the current market and a range of different barriers will prevent women from building businesses and also thriving. So it is particularly striking that majority of the women we got the research and data from said that the COVID-19 pandemic is probably the single greatest challenge they have ever faced. So in partnership with M12 Ventures, which is the Microsoft venture fund, we again commissioned the COVID-19 research for the 2021 to really understand the comparison and see if something has changed, or is it getting worse? So Olivia will be sharing the results and also the recommendations, the work. But what I'm really excited is to have Saloni Shah. She's the Senior Portfolio Development Director at M12 Microsoft Venture Fund, join us and really have a meaningful discussion on this particular topic. So Saloni, welcome to Women in Cloud. We are really excited to have you here. So first we want to start with your zodiac sign and your role at M12, and how do you serve the ecosystem of tech founders?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Great. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here and in support of Women in Cloud. As you said, Chaitra, my name is Saloni Shah. I am a Libra, so I'm incredibly balanced. You're right, Patty. I seek balance in everything I do. I'm also very energetic and extroverted. And I think the other core trait is I'm super diplomatic. I'm constantly the mediator in my family. So that's a big Libra trait that I definitely embody. As for me and my role, I am a portfolio development manager at M12, which essentially means I work with our portfolio companies that we invest in to accelerate their growth post-investment through the Microsoft ecosystem. So how can I support our companies in growing? Through partnerships with Microsoft on product integrations, go-to-market strategy, co-marketing, kind of all of the above. And I also support other large-scaled programs for the fund. One of the main ones is I am kind of the lead of the diversity, equity, and inclusion work that we do as a fund, and I run a program called the M12 Expert Network, which essentially is our way of building connections with experts inside of Microsoft to our portfolio companies for advising engagements. So that's me. In terms of how I support the ecosystem, that really comes from my DEI role. I think about how we structure our D&I initiatives, and one of the big pieces is our ecosystem play. How do we partner with organizations who are doing great work, like Women in Cloud and other venture funds who are doing great work in this space to empower more female entrepreneurs and make sure we're evangelizing their work and their initiatives.
Awesome, Saloni. First is welcome. I think the partnership with M12 has been one of the fruitful partnership because we are able to do some really cool stuff. And since, you had, in partnership with you, we did commission, the commissioning of the report for this year happened, and you got to see the data firsthand. So what stood out from you from last year to this year? What did you take away from that?
Yeah, I think there are a couple things that stood out to me, and I know we're going to talk a little bit more about, solutions to these things, but the three categories are really the revenue loss, that it was projected higher than expected, 50 to 100,000 almost. The second thing is that we still have founders reporting that they're facing investment freezes, canceled and delayed projects, reduced healthcare because they have to reduce staff, and just loss of income, which is really hard to read. And then the emotional kind of impact of higher stress levels, both for the founders and the female entrepreneurs, but also for their staff, and how to deal with this new world of hybrid work that pain hasn't yet fully reduced. I mean, there's additional costs when it comes to operational endeavors to make that happen. So those are a couple things that stood out to me.
And Saloni, as a tech entrepreneur, I can relate to all of them, especially the emotional, I would say the impact, especially going into the hybrid workforce. You don't know what's the right thing, what's not the right thing, should we spend, shouldn't we spend? So it's been really a roller coaster ride for the last, I would say, 2 months, as I'm thinking through how the world is going to open up and how we are going to serve the women's ecosystem. And how do we serve in the tech industry a little bit better? So well said. So what are you seeing from a trends perspective as you're, that is making you pause or explore pivots to shape the investments and guidance for your portfolio companies?
Yeah, so I'll talk about this in two categories. One, as someone who focuses on supporting portfolio companies, I'm seeing two big things. One, like a major shift on digital marketing. I think often B2B companies, sales can be very relationship based and trade show based or conference based. But in the last 2 years, companies have had to figure out digital marketing, how to get lead gen online, how to use things like advertising, Microsoft advertising, Google advertising, LinkedIn marketing, to get that lead generation that they weren't getting from conferences. And so how can I support my companies in building that skill and hiring for that? And the second thing I'll say is, as M12 at least leads more rounds in the Series A space right now, talent and recruitment finding your next 6 engineers, finding your next 6 sellers has been a huge trend or challenge that I'm hearing from entrepreneurs. How do I scale my team? In terms of investment trends as M12, I think this past year, we've thought a lot about cybersecurity. I mean, we already have an extensive cybersecurity portfolio, but you see these challenges in the news. SolarWinds, you may have gotten a notification just last week saying, update your Windows because of a hack. We are constantly looking for the most innovative things in cybersecurity because of everything that's happening now that we are all digitally transformed. I think Satya said it's, decades of digital transformation in 1 year that occurred in 2020. And then I would say we're also looking at spaces, things that can uniquely help with hybrid work when it comes to investing. And lastly, going in early stage. A lot of investors, I think, are moving towards supporting entrepreneurs, making more early Series A seed investments and doing more early stage investments. So those are some of the trends that I'm seeing in the market.
And Saloni, I can echo that, from a Women in Cloud perspective, we actually implement the marketplace strategy in alignment for the Microsoft marketplace, and with the 3% flat fee for transaction.
Yeah,
that's really good. And if you heard Gina, she basically involved us in the build for 2030 to really give scaled marketing access. So that has given a lot of boost and visibility for our entrepreneurs. And you are right, from a talent acquisition perspective, I think it applies for corporate as well as for entrepreneurs. In parallel, we are running the Cloud Recruitment Lounge so that people can find the talent, easily connect with the future talent. And from a hybrid work perspective, I don't know if you saw, one of our cohort members was featured on Satya's presentation. Of all the 32 solutions, we had one represented. So we were very well represented through the whole ecosystem. But I think we are all aligned in what you're seeing and what we are seeing. And Saloni, the data was resonated with you when you saw it. What do you believe that we should go and double down on investment for the next 3 years? Because we do want to think about, yes, we have the report, we have the insight, but how do we double down on it? And where are you thinking about doubling down?
Yeah, so I'll share a couple data points here and what I think might be an interesting thing to double down on. So the first one is definitely from the COVID-19 report, both 2020 and the unreleased one that you'll hear more about later today. This loss of revenue that we keep hearing about. I really think that data point is alarming, and customer acquisition has been very challenging in the pandemic. So one of the things I think especially organizations like Women in Cloud can do in partnership with corporations and venture funds is focus on supplier diversity. In my preparation for this fireside chat, I actually met with our head of supplier diversity, and she shared with me, I'm not sure if you know, the federal limit for supplier diversity is 51% ownership of your company or small business. That often doesn't work for venture-backed businesses because of the dilution of ownership you have when you take on venture capital funding, although the payout for women can be much higher, right? And so we want more female founders in that space. But because of that federal limit, often you don't get the certification to meet supplier diversity programs. Well, what I found out is Microsoft's actually working with the National Minority Supplier Development Council. That's a mouthful. But we're working with this organization that actually creates a certification for venture-backed female founders to qualify for these supplier diversity programs. So how can we work together to ensure that women entrepreneurs know about this and that they're applying for that certification and they're leveraging these supplier diversity programs that someone in the intro video even talked about to fill those gaps of revenue loss. So that's the first kind of thing I do think we should double down on. And that's included with the marketplace listing that you described earlier, using Microsoft and other corporations as channel sales mechanisms. The second thing I'll say is in the Women at Workplace report by McKinsey and Lean In, man, I read about the Women in Leadership broken rug. And that kind of breaks my heart to read, which is basically there's a huge barrier for women to hit that first manager role. To give you some data points, at the manager level, it's about 68% men, 38% women, and 12% women of color at that first manager role. And so you can see as you keep going up, there are less and less women in leadership. So my solution here is, can organizations work together, one, to track this data and be transparent about it? I mean, the Microsoft D&I report has diversity at multiple levels of the organization. So you can see, are we actually making growth everywhere, or are we just making growth at the pipeline entry individual contributor layers? And I think even if you're a small organization, the earlier you track, the more representative your organization is going to be as you keep going forward. So that's the second thing. And then the third and last thing I'll say is, when I read the All-Raise annual report recently, they talked a lot about the funding gap and the female check writer percentages. And the funding gap is essentially in 2020, female-led and mixed gender founding teams saw a decrease in funding from 16.9% to 14.4%. So that's really sad, honestly, to see it go backwards after so much work. And then also, female check writers in 2020 only grew from 12.2% to 13.3%. And that means we need a lot more female investors in the ecosystem. And what can we do to improve that? In my opinion, no matter what organization you are, is to have an ecosystem approach, to partner with organizations like Women in Cloud, like Black and Brown Founders, like All-Raise, that are doing great work in community building and curriculum and connection, so that we can move the needle on the funding gap and move the needle on how many women are actually writing investment checks. So those are some of my thoughts on the recent data I've read.
Yeah, and Saloni, I think we want to double down on definitely that certification, because most of the women do not want to go raise money because that gets diluted.
Yeah.
Really go into the enterprise ecosystem easily too, because they don't have that certification status. And from the representation standpoint, I completely agree with you. We have to look holistically from the board of directors to the last level in every facet, from channel to supplier to employee to leader. We have to look at it, and we have to have a holistic approach on it. That is perfect. So we want to partner with you more for years to come, till 2030, till we get the goals accomplished.
Yeah.
So what do you think we should be focusing on getting access to funding, or should we be creating a holistic approach to solving access for women to build the tech companies? Because I know the pipeline is weak. So what do you think? Should we go holistic or just focus on only funding approach?
Yeah, I thought a lot about this. I think it has to be a holistic approach, but what I will say is you don't need to do it alone, right? Different organizations have different strengths, and Women in Cloud might bring something great, and then M12 might bring something else, right? We can bring some capital into the picture. And so I think it has to be holistic. I really love the spin wheel that Patty shared earlier. It seems like that's how Women in Cloud is thinking about it already. I'll share another framework that really resonated with me recently. It's Camelback Ventures' framework on how to support underrepresented founders, and it has 5 categories: coaching, capital, connections, community, and curriculum. And what I think is cool about this framework is that it has players, we have winners or really great organizations that cover some of these. So if I look at M12 and I say, are we supporting our founders in all of these things? They don't have to come from us, right? M12 can bring the capital and they can bring the connections to Microsoft, but we look to organizations like Women in Cloud to bring community and coaching and curriculum where that may not be our strong suit or our differentiator. And so I really think it does need to be a holistic approach. When we think about DEI at M12, we think about it holistically as well. We think about what's our plan for our team, like our team structure, our talent, our retention, our learning. What's our plan for our portfolio? So how are we supporting our companies that we've invested in growing their D&I journey and thinking about a representative staff? And how do we think about ecosystem? How do we partner with Women in Cloud, with Black and Brown Founders, with accelerators to increase our deal flow, but also evangelize the great work our partners are doing? So all that to say, I really do think it needs to be holistic, but let's lean on our partnerships where one might be better than the other, you know?
Absolutely. And Saloni, we are coming to the close of our conversation. So I have 2-pronged question. One is, should the tech companies, or what way should the tech companies and communities like ours should be partnering with the venture funding so we can create more access to female founders? And the last one is, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
So the first one is, should tech companies be partnering with female founders?
Yeah.
Okay.
And communities like ours.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. The first point I already kind of made. I think let's work together on supplier diversity and work with these certification programs. I think second, like social capital is really important for female founders or underrepresented founders. So let's work together to create that social capital, right? Like we have a huge network inside of Microsoft. Women in Cloud has a huge network across female entrepreneurs in cloud. Let's work together to create that social capital so that, someone from your organization can pick up the phone and call someone at Microsoft about pitching to an executive, or someone at Microsoft can call someone in your organization to say, what solution do you have to my problem? And then I'll say, like, deal flow and pipeline is really important. I think that's how we need to work together as well. We as M12 may not have our line of sight into all of the amazing women entrepreneurs that are brewing across the world, and that we rely on our partners to hear about the entrepreneurs that you're seeing, to hear about the companies that they're starting, so we can deploy more capital into female founded companies. So absolutely, I do think that we should be working together deeply. What was your last question?
Any closing thoughts for us?
Yeah. I think my closing thought is that I'm hopeful. I think the pandemic, I used to be a teacher. I used to be a middle school teacher. And I think the pandemic shone a light on broadband access in our country and how many students did not have access to technology. Just like that, I think in this ecosystem, the pandemic shone a light on the bias that exists, on the numbers decreasing, and how there needs to be persistent work being done. Some of the ways I see things changing: organizations are instituting flexible work hours, are putting more of a focus on paternal leave, or thinking about hybrid work and the barrier between work and life. And I also actually see on my day-to-day job, my founders that I work with thinking about representation early. How can we think about D&I when we only have a staff of 10? Like, I love to see that, because we know that when companies start diverse and start representative, they are much more likely to stay that way. When there are more women in leadership, there's often higher retention, higher staff morale, and we've seen female founded companies are way more capitally efficient and do more with their capital. So I just appreciate that there's a light being shined on the issues right now, and I think we should take that momentum and continue the hard work. So I guess my last thought is I'm hopeful about all the progress that we can make between now and 2030, for sure.
Absolutely, Saloni. And this one was very enlightening for me. The conversation is, we are more aligned than we thought, so that's good. And we would love to keep the partnering going and really start to focus on supplier diversity, creating that connections and coaching for women entrepreneurs, and deal flow and pipeline. So if all the entrepreneurs who are listening here, please know that the Cloud Exec Connect is happening today. So female founders are going to meet with 40 advisors in the ecosystem. Hopefully some deals are going to be created today. Again, Saloni, thank you so much for being with us. I would love to stay on the screen. I would love to invite Olivia to kind of talk about the report, what she saw, and also the recommendations. And as a network, as you're listening, do share your perspectives of what you are learning, as Olivia is going to take us through a quick review of what the results we saw from COVID-19 research for 2021. Okay, Olivia, come on over.
Hello, Chai. Thank you. So as you just heard Chai and Saloni talking about, of course, this is a brief overview of the findings of the 2021 COVID-19 Impact Survey. So we did this initiative last year as part of the Empower Access campaign, not initially planned, but as soon as we were in the middle of Empower Access and COVID hit, and we wanted to figure out how we could best take action to make a difference in this very confusing situation that we were all entering. So we put out the COVID-19 Impact Survey to female tech entrepreneurs to assess them on the anticipated financial loss, the operational constraints, as well as the emotional impact of the pandemic. So in 2020, we reviewed their kind of projections for the next 24 months. And then this year we've come back and we want to see how things are going in the meantime. So this year we saw that so far to date, our women entrepreneurs, women tech entrepreneurs have seen revenue losses of between $50,000 and $100,000. So that's just so far into this, and that's just the majority. So there are some that have lost up to millions of dollars. But as far as assessing our entire network, these are the stats that the majority are seeing is already per company a loss of $50,000 to $100,000. So as an industry, that's huge. They've also seen on top of that financial loss, opportunity loss valued at, again, $50,000 or more. Most of this is, as Saloni was mentioning, due to things like frozen pipelines, frozen investments, projects postponed or canceled altogether, and increased healthcare and reduced staff and increased HR costs. So they've altogether seen quite another additional financial burden in the opportunities they've missed due to the pandemic thus far. Also this year, we've seen folks, the women entrepreneurs indicated that for themselves and their organizations, their staff, 60% have had a negative or somewhat negative emotional impact. So beyond just the tangible loss, there's a loss in people's happiness and joy in doing what they do. So as looking at the 2021 or at the 2020 results in comparison, so it was expected that they would lose up to $1 million over the next 24 months. And 12 months into it, we're really getting close to that number. And as in an industry as a whole of women in technology, it's been a huge, huge blow. Similarly, the opportunities lost were projected in 2020 at 5 million. And again, while we've seen all companies surveyed have seen a value of $50,000, some have again seen between $1 and $5 million in opportunity loss already just 12 months in. And again, from the 2020 report, 49% indicated that they anticipated this emotional impact to be negative or somewhat negative. And that number is actually quite a bit higher for this year as well. And another 50% this year indicated that they've seen increased anxiety and stress levels in themselves and their staff this year as well. So some of the things that we've talked about as an organization at Women in Cloud that we can do with our wonderful partners like M12 is double down on our Fortune 100 engagement and access. So we've started different F100 Lunch and Learn series and doing more to bring access to women tech entrepreneurs to give them access to these Fortune 100 companies. Again, finding ways to provide access to financial assistance and offset some of those costs that have been incurred. We also want to look into investing in digital customer acquisition and marketplaces and ways that we can support women technology entrepreneurs in their digital transformation as they adjust to this new normal. And of course, formulate a plan to build cloud innovations and pipelines and grants and other opportunities where we can empower access to women tech entrepreneurs. So we won't give away all of the information in the report. The full COVID-19 impact report is coming next week. So you'll be able to see this data and so much more looking between this year and last, and also a data pack so that you can help us share this important information and these facts and stats out with your network as well.
Thank you, Olivia, for doing a fantastic work on kind of summarizing the stuff. And Saloni, we are in alignment with the supplier diversity, the marketing, and creating more pipeline. And I would say as we close this one we want to ensure that each one of us are working together to solve this particular ecosystem challenge. This is not an individual entrepreneur, but together, when we work together as a collective ecosystem, we can solve it, and we have partners who make this possible. Again, Saloni, thank you so much for being here. And Olivia, thank you. And Patty, you can come online and we will do mic off, camera off. Again, everyone, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for that. Wow. I just want to say that in a way, it was a little disheartening, but also very validating for me as a small business owner. I saw that exact loss in my business. So I know that other women around the world are feeling the same thing. We're still doing the same thing we always have, but we've seen that decline in the business. And what I love about Women in Cloud is that they're always doing things to expand your access. And there's so many things that they do that I'm like in a big wow. So I just want to give you a couple of things. Like we saw 500% expansion in our digital community with 60% engagement rate on a month-to-month basis. There are 50 cloud solutions featured in Women in Cloud Marketing that developed by female founders that cater to Fortune brands and enterprise companies. And this is key. Stylize, which was one of our accelerators, it was acquired by Neiman Marcus. So these are things that happen when we work together to really empower each other to greatness. And another thing that we're doing and have been working on really hard is Empower Her Family, which is to support women in India who have been highly impacted. And so we've put we want to put 1 million women in India digital capability into their hands. And so we had 1,000 people apply for 600 scholarships in Azure and certification so that women can take back really their own economic place and begin to provide for their families. And so this is just one of the many ways that we work together. So I'm hoping that you will join with us and be part of our community because we need each other. We are here to help expand each other, and that's what we're doing. All right, so thank you so much for that fireside chat and that information. I can't wait to read the rest of the report. It's gonna validate a bunch of things, but now I would like to bring up Sharon Hildebrandt. She's gonna be our moderator for the Leading Digital Transformation in the billion-dollar industries. And so first off, she's a Cancer, which means she's moody and sensitive, so be nice to her. But she's from Hitachi Solutions America. She's sales and alliance technology executive. She's a board member. She's committed to elevating women in technology leadership roles. Her mantra is everything happens for a reason, and she's dialing in from Illinois. Am I right?
That's right.
That's
Hello.
right. So please help me welcome Sharon Hildebrandt. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Patty, and thanks for all of you. Another great session, Chai. As Patty mentioned, I now have the honor of leading a panel discussion with some amazing women. $1 billion in economic access. That is the Women in Cloud focus, and that focus is definitely shared by the leaders that you're going to meet today as we drive a panel discussion around leading digital transformation in billion-dollar industries. Not million, but billion. So please join me in welcoming our panelists for today. Merritt Thatcher, CEO of Argyle. Heidi Watson, founder and CEO of Canadian Electronic Health Information Systems. And Gauri Selka, CEO of Volantis Analytics. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
What I'd like to do is start the conversation and the panel discussion with having you each talk about what your solution is, what you do, what you bring to market, and then find that with an icebreaker. If you were given $1 million, what would you do to disrupt the markets that you actually focus on? And we'll start with you, Merritt. Actually, we'll start with Heidi.
Sure. So I'm Heidi, founder and CEO of eHis. We have a enterprise-ready Guardian EMR. It stores medical records, and we have a really unique privacy by design approach that lets us get health data where it needs to be while solving the internal security issues that most traditional systems see. So we're trying to disrupt information silos in healthcare. And if I was given $1 million right now, that could really help me to make that big impact in this market to really prove our solutions freedom and flexibility in its workflow, and that we take care of security compliance so that our clinicians don't have to. So it really helped me get the news out there.
Great, thank you. Gauri, same questions to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Nice to meet you all. Hi, I'm Gauri. I'm CEO of Volansis. Prior to this, I was the head of data analytics at Walgreens. And my solution that we built in Volansis is to help Fortune 1000 organizations like B2B solutions for them to build digital literacy, because that is found as a main blocker for the organizations to adapt emerging technologies. So we make it easy to build data literacy within the organizations. And we also provide intuitive guided workflows so you can include a diverse cross-functional teams who are not chosen to be technologists in the beginning, but they can be part of the solution so they can build AI capabilities to transform their job and the organization. And if I'm giving 1 million, I think I can spend it right away, because I will find thousands of people who will become data savvy, and they will be more successful in this technology driven economy.
Love it. Love that doing good while doing well. Before we move on to our next question, I want to make sure and just do a check if I'm assuming Merritt might be having technical issues, or I don't see her. Is Merritt on? Okay, let's go ahead and let's continue the discussion. Since you have the mic already, Gauri, digital focus on digital learning and working with Fortune, the large, top of the Fortune list of large companies. What made you choose that market out of curiosity, and why was that important to you to disrupt?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I've been with Walgreens for more than 20 years, Sharon. So with being in a Fortune 20 now company, right, Walgreens, what I have seen as a head of data analytics is technology is never a blocker, right? We have enhanced the tools and solutions greatly, but change management and giving people the right knowledge to be successful is where most of the organizations struggle. And I have been part of many conversations where we have reduced workforce because we just don't have the right job based on their skill set. So that was my passion to start Volansis, which is focusing on data savviness. We want to provide applied AI knowledge to people as they are doing work. Because as workforce and as large companies, we just don't have time to send our workforce separately for a training. So we have integrated training with guided workflows, so they learn as they are doing, as they're applying AI and transforming their job. So obviously, I'm very passionate about that. That's why I took this chance of building the right solution for the large organizations.
AI is an amazing space. I had the pleasure and honor of actually being on a panel that Chai hosted a few months ago, and AI was a big topic of conversation as far as there's great, wonderful things, but when you think about disrupt, there's responsibility around that as well. So I would like to put a bookmark on that because I see that Merritt just joined, and I would love to have that conversation, further that AI conversation with you. Welcome, Merritt.
Thank you.
So we haven't gone too far down the panelist path yet, but I did want to give you the opportunity. I introduced you and your title and your company. What we were asking everyone to do was to talk about the market, talk about your solution and the market that you're serving. And if you were given $1 million, what would you do first thing to disrupt the market that you're serving?
Goodness. Okay, so I'm Merritt, and I brought my prop. I work in the construction industry, and I wear a HoloLens on the job site. And we put the building information models, those models that the architects and the construction folks are building, and we put them onto the job site in one-to-one holographic overlay. And I had $1 million to change this industry. Honestly, I would spend some of it buying HoloLenses and some of it sending people out to the job sites and showing them their new capabilities, because it is something new, it is something we've created, and we're creating spatial computing for the construction industry.
Yeah, wow, massively amazing and disruptive, and props to you bringing a prop. So I think that should be a best practice going forward for all panelists.
I was literally using it just before this meeting.
Okay. Heidi, same question to you that I'd asked Gauri. Why did you choose healthcare to disrupt and build your business around?
So I've been in healthcare myself for.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I've been in healthcare myself for almost a decade, in both public and private settings. And when I had my own private practice and we were looking for a digital ourselves, couldn't get around all of the usability issues of current systems that are on the market. And so we decided to really just jump in and tackle some of those issues ourselves. And so to date, we have commercialized a full EMR system with the charting, scheduling, and invoicing, which is kind of like the basic tier for this market. And so now we're really getting to step into that space of innovation and dealing with interoperability issues. And it's getting really exciting now. Whereas before it was just a person in healthcare with their own practice trying to make something for their own business that worked. And now we've really built it to this larger enterprise scale, which is really exciting.
Okay, so everything happens for a reason, as you heard Patty say, and I think the fact, Merritt, that you had a tech issue and I had Gowri and Heidi answer this question first makes it really fun to ask the same question to you, because it's very evident, both Gowri, from your experience working with a Fortune 20 company and how now that's your target market, and then Heidi, your experience in healthcare. What you've lived through and what you've done, you've definitely brought to the current jobs you have and the opportunities you have to help others. So Merritt, construction, female, there's got to be a story there. What?
Well, there is.
Okay.
So my mom owned a construction company, and she was a women minority owned certified business, got some federal contracts, and really found her niche. And when I grew up, what my experiences was construction. I did not like, because it meant mom and dad were home late. They were home infrequently, and they were off at job sites, and it felt like there was just very little control. As I got older, I realized and learned a lot about the construction industry and just the sheer difficulty it takes to manufacture a building. Think of manufacturing a product and then throw it away. A building is completely different, and it's different every single time you make it. And so when I learned about building information modeling, I was just psyched, and I thought this and augmented reality are going to go together like peas and carrots. And I don't know, little girls will get their parents home earlier, hopefully.
That is awesome. Great story. So all of you are leading the way with creating cloud-based solutions that are disrupting your individual industries and worlds. When you think about lessons that you've learned, and something that is often referred to as the gold standard, what could you share as far as your version of the gold standard for developing cloud solutions that would benefit those that are participating in this conversation, that aspire to get to the place you're at right now with your own companies and your careers? And I'll go ahead and I'll go back to Heidi.
So I think if you're building a cloud solution and you're going after global markets like these billion-dollar industries, I think it's a big deal that your solution can be shifted between different hosting providers, that you're not microservice dependent, because then those walls can kind of block different entry points into other markets. So that flexibility is what I would focus on.
That's great. Merritt, how would you answer that question?
Oh, I mean, I took the other tech where it's really at that user level. So building it with the people you're intending.
That's a great idea. Yeah, no, and I think that's so applicable across the board. I work for a technology company, and user experience is extremely important to us. Gowri, what's your lessons learned or gold standard feedback that you can give?
No, I totally agree with what Heidi and Merritt said. I think they both are important. On top of it, what I would say is also the cloud. Today's technology, especially the cloud solutions provided, are coming with inbuilt capabilities. So with your first version, always try to leverage that, especially that's my big lesson learned coming from Fortune 20 organization where I had like 70 million budget to, I don't even have $7 now. So leverage what you have and go with the first version, build with the client, and then continue to enhance from there and adopt with all clouds. So you start with where the customers are.
Yeah, brilliant advice. Think about your user first. So all of you are doing amazing, disruptive things, and there's always risk to that. You have a new idea, you want to try something fresh. how do you test the waters when you're thinking about that new idea, test the market, figure out how disruptive perhaps you want to be, and really looking forward to any and all insight here. Again, when you think about entering a new market, maybe you already have, or what you went through when you first thought about HoloLens for construction, what can someone do to kind of either A/B test or get input, get advice when they want to explore their cloud-based solution that's destined to disrupt? And I will start with Merritt.
Man, I was hoping you wouldn't pick me first. That's a tough one. And honestly, something as a founder who developed the technology, I have a passion for augmented reality. I would give a new founder like Merritt the advice that the vision that I have is correct, and there are baby steps to get there. And I think that A/B testing you're talking about, really what it looked like for us is just doing small portions of the building, working closely with one contractor, or just even figuring out user interface workflows. Those things I think I really took for granted early on, how much work they would take. But at the end of the day, I think also little Merritt needed to hear, little Merritt, like 2 years ago, Merritt, I've grown up a lot. I really needed to hear that my vision is correct. We're joking about we're not joking about it, our astrological signs. I learned my sun, moon, and rising are Steve Jobs's, Pisces, sun, Aries, moon, and a Virgo rising. So there's just a lot going on over here. And I don't think that my ultimate vision is incorrect, but I do need to work with my industry and bringing them along to that. And that's honestly why I would spend that money just getting hats on heads.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I absolutely love the conviction to staying true to that inner voice, having confidence in yourself, being open to feedback and input, and starting that process early and often, depending on where you're at. Valerie, what do you think with regards to entering a new market, testing the waters? What has been some of your experience, and how would you answer that question as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally with Merritt. I think, coming from a large organization, I think this has been a huge learning for me. I feel like I'm completely relearning how things are done, because large organizations have, and especially our solution is for Fortune 1000, and they are change averse, right? Like they just cannot start. And you have to build a long-term relationship with them in order to get even start your testing. So my change, which I really wish, I'm with Merritt, like my younger self of 2 years back. So I wish I would have understood that reality and started off with smaller organization, which is what we did now finally, started with smaller organization, even though we are not learning everything, but you're learning enough, and you have to believe in your vision and conviction, and get through the uncertainties with courage. And the network we have, right? Like that's why I think the WIC and other networks are so important, because, when you hear from Merritt, when you hear from, I think that emotional support is the key to continue through these uncertainties.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you are able to pay attention to the chat, but boy, there's some great affirmation and confirmation of trusting yourself, trusting your insights, trusting your gut. So thank you everyone for continuing to share your feedback with our great panelists in the chat. Heidi, what would you like to add to that?
I think it's so great to hear. Kind of what we did when we first started our A/B testing was we went to boomers retiring to the lake that still wanted to practice really casually. And so we needed those non-tech people to try out our tech, because we really wanted that ease of usability. And we're planning on going into international markets that are not as saturated, maybe don't have as much tech as we see here in the West, so that we're ready with a product. And so yeah, our new market testing though too is where are you with your tech, and what kind of equipment do you have, and what kind of internet stability do you have, to make sure that the kind of market is ready. So yeah, I definitely agree. You kind of have to start small and then work out from there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies, we're through the formal Q&A, although I feel like I could just kick back and continue this conversation and learn from all of you, as I'm sure everyone who's joined you can. as we kind of close out our round and give thanks for having this time together, any final words of wisdom, inspiration, a favorite quote? Let's leave our audience with a delicious nugget they can carry with them through the rest of the weekend. And I'll go back to you, Heidi.
Sure. So my biggest nugget of wisdom, I think, I have a really big problem with the fail fast and really what that means, because massive groundbreaking changes in large industries don't happen overnight. And so you can't be a flash in the pan. And so it's really important to take time to build something that's actually groundbreaking.
Really, really interesting. I think we could have a beer or coffee conversation about that one. I used to actually fail fast quite a bit. Gowri, closing words of wisdom.
Yeah, no, talking about Steve Jobs, I think give your customers what they are going to want. And that's not easy to do because you have to believe in your vision. And that, it's very common for me. Once I get through the first conversation, my customers are always saying, oh, we didn't think this way at all, right? So that always happens. So so to believe in yourself and think of what they're going to want and go get it.
Yeah, outstanding. Merritt, mic to you.
Okay. Scarcity does not exist. In an abundant world, what is the problem is access. And that is what Women in Cloud is helping with. So remember that, and remember how you can use your flow and you can channel access to others, because there's not scarcity. It's just access.
Wow. What a great way to wrap up an amazing conversation. Can't thank all of you enough. And again, Women in Cloud, for the opportunity and thoughtfulness of bringing these three powerhouses together. So thank you again very much. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have goosebumps too. And you saw me do that. That was Merritt. That was and that one's going to last with me for the rest of the weekend. So thank you again, everyone, and hope our audience enjoys the rest of the programming today.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Oh my God. That was a mic drop, and me too. Goosebumps. I wrote it right here on the map. There's not scarcity, just not access. And that is so true. And so I just am so grateful for that panel. So Sharon, just hit your camera off and you'll be off the screen or mic off. And we are going to transition into the next amazing thing, which is Empower Her Access. These are our inaugural awards ceremony. This is the most amazing thing. We sent out a note they're a unique opportunity for entrepreneurs to recognize who have facilitated their growth, their stability through the pandemic. And so Women in Cloud created these 8 categories to commemorate the vital members. And so there's the Digital Transformation Project of the Year Award, M12 Women in Technology, Outstanding Leadership, Inside Cloud Solution of the Year, Accenture Innovative Partnership Award, Mela Cloud Technology Deal of the Year. Sorry, I have to read these. Advisor of the Year Award, Investor of the Year Award, and Supplier of the Year Award. We've got to nominate, and these are going to be the awardees. So I can't wait. Let's show the video. Let's do this. Come on, let's go. Woo! Hello. And I'm hoping that Giovanna is going to come on and introduce Mingarelli to put her mic and camera on. Will she be coming up here, Reza? Because I am so ready for these awards to begin. Will she come up to introduce Deepa, our IBM, for the sponsor remarks? Or shall I do the honors? I'm not sure. And so I'm just standing by with wand and cloud award, just waiting for these people to show up. The sound is missing. Uh-oh. So perhaps, I don't know what's happening. Am I still on? Can you hear me? Yes, I'm hoping it's working for you. Fantastic. All right, that's good. You can hear me. I think that Giovanna Mingarelli is supposed to come up and introduce Deepa, who's going to talk about our award. Yes? Is that going to happen? I'm hoping so. If not, I'm going to launch into the awards, which the IBM, we have got some sponsor remarks. I'm hoping, well, if not, I just want to say that the sponsor is IBM and M12, and they're amazing because they helped us with this whole process. All right. So I have a co-facilitator with me. Catherine's going to come up and we are giving out these awards. So I want her to introduce herself first so that you can see her and you know who's bringing her up. Is she here? Is Catherine here? Is she going to help me? Yes. There she is. Catherine.
Patty, hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you. Oh,
So happy to see you. What a good day.
yes, it's fantastic. We are going to start our awards. I just wanted to make sure you were here with me.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, you're ready? All right.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to do the first award, then I'm handing it off to you. You're welcome to stay up while I announce this. This is the very first award is for the Supplier of the Year, sponsored by IBM. All right. And I want to announce the finalists. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Okay.
go.
The first finalist is Clau Martinez, Microsoft Global Senior Product Marketing Manager, Business Applications. The second finalist is Christine Puccio, F5 VP, Global Cloud Alliances. And the third finalist is Pallavi Pandey, Detox LLC owner and founder. Now, to present the award for Supplier of the Year is Deepa Krishna. We'll get off stage and we'll let her come up. Yes, are you ready? We'll let her come up.
Hello, everyone, and I am so glad to be here with all of you today. Patty, thank you for that very, very exciting introduction. Let me take a few moments, if you don't mind, and level set with this award ceremony and why IBM is a sponsor. And then I have the envelope with our first winner. So stay tuned. I will certainly get to that. In the interim, though, let me start with some of the sponsor remarks that I was asked to give. Folks, this has been an exciting experience listening to each of us talk about our part of this journey. But I'm so privileged to represent an organization like IBM that has had a long-standing commitment to diversity, inclusion, and equity. So I'd like to talk a little bit about IBM and our commitment to all of this, my own personal experience, and my message to the winners. And yes, I am going to present the first award. So let me start with IBM's commitment to diversity. IBM is an iconic company with a very storied history of over 110 years. And over that 110-year journey, we have had to reinvent ourselves over and over again to meet the demands of the new market landscapes. But one thing has remained exceptionally constant, and that is our commitment to leading an inclusive organization. Did you know that in 1935, women were hired as system service professionals at IBM? And at that time, our leader, T.J. Watson Sr., stated that women will do, and I quote, same kind of work for equal pay. Think about that, folks. That was years before the Equal Pay Act. I've got another example. In 1953, we had our first written equal opportunity policy letter published 11 years before the Civil Rights Act. So when I say diversity, inclusion, and equity is a core of our values that have transcended this entire storied company, that's what I'm talking about. So let me make it personal. I am privileged to be the vice president of the digital platform for our ecosystem, as well as driving the consumption of our open hybrid cloud and AI platform. And I didn't get to this role all by myself. I had a huge network of supporters and allies throughout my own experience. It was when I was actually fairly young, soon after graduation from business school, that one of my managers, and who became a mentor of mine, reached out and he said he saw something in me. And what he said then was game-changing for my own career. He introduced me to the person who not only would be my mentor, but would grow to become my sponsor, and the person who helped me get my first executive position within the organization. What does that mean to all of us? Is this is an and opportunity. It is up to us to reach out and help each other to grow, regardless of which industry. For those of you who heard the last session, I don't have a hard hat like Merritt did, but it was so cool to hear her stories about what she within the construction industry. So for every one of us, we've got a unique story to tell, unique skills that we bring to the table. And it's about helping each other be successful with that. So now, my message to the winners. All of you are incredible. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you to your focus. And thank you for doing everything that you're doing to help us make progress. Because there are three things that we all know we must do. And IBM has clearly stated this in our own published diversity report. We have to continue to increase accountability. We have to invest in skills, and we have to together champion policy changes. And you're all doing that. You are the leaders that are making that difference. And I am so proud to join all of you here today with the first award of this inaugural session. So without further ado, our first award is for the Supplier of the Year. Can I get a virtual rolling of the drums? Ready? And I'm going to invite the person who wins to please join me on the stage. And the winner is, and congratulations everyone, you're all awesome, Christine. Christine, can you please join me on stage here? Congratulations. From F5. Is Christine on?
I'm here. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Christine. Congratulations on being our first award recipient.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know if I say anything or not.
Please, I would love to hear from you. I'd love, and I'm sure everyone would, tell us what motivates you, what drives you, and I would certainly love if you could just give us, your recommendation to pull everyone else forward along in this journey.
Well, it was a very interesting year last year. And beginning of this year, we, I have and manage the global alliances, the cloud alliances, and we get a lot of go-to-market funds to execute on our plans. And we need help to do that. And so I contract out a lot within my business. And one of the things that I was really looking at with intent was the diversity that I had within my own supplier chain. And I think that a lot of others that are in my position that have budget really need to do more of that. I think it's something that's, it's conscious now in hiring, but I think it's really something that you need to be really aware of when you look at, outsourcing with contractors. So I have to tell you, it was critical for me to have the help, and I wouldn't have been nearly far along in the strategy that I have with where I'm going in the next 3 years with what I'm doing in my own organization, and if I hadn't had that help from the folks that helped me. So I just want to encourage everybody to really look at how they're using their budget and who they are onboarding as far as their suppliers, and encourage the diversity amongst that supplier chain. So this is really an honor for me because I am a big advocate for diversity and inclusion.
Congratulations again. So well deserved. And thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Back to you, Patty.
Actually, it's Catherine that comes back next, but here's that drum roll. Congratulations. Okay, and I'll get off the stage. Woo! Yeah. Okay, Catherine.
Okay, Patty, thank you. So I'm here to announce the finalists for the Microsoft Digital Transformation Project of the Year Award. The following are the finalists: Megan Jacot for Humanity, Maruna Stratton, Global Head of Investment Banking Division Engineering and Platform Engineering for Transaction Banking at Goldman Sachs, and Kathy Durfee, CEO and founder at Tech House. To present the award for the Microsoft Digital Transformation Project of the Year Award is Gina Go, Channel Inclusion and Impact Senior Strategy Lead from Microsoft. Gina, if you want to join me up on stage.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, Gina.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Channel Inclusion and Impact Senior Strategy Lead at Microsoft with our Global Partner Solutions business. It is my honor to be here today at WCAG Inspire and representing Microsoft to be awarding this Digital Transformation Project of the Year award as part of our Empower Her Access inaugural award ceremony. So at Microsoft, we are so committed to enabling a diverse and inclusive partner ecosystem and to enable our partners to be innovating and building solutions toward a more inclusive economy. One of the key initiatives that we've started and that we lead is the Microsoft Build for 2030 initiative, which really focuses on enabling our ecosystem to be driving and building transformational solutions forward in support of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And Women in Cloud has been such a core partner to the Build for 2030 effort. And over the past year, we've been able to work together to showcase so many women-led businesses and solutions as part of that effort. And it really gives me great energy and inspiration because to see women in the channel leading the way in digital transformation with our customers. And it is my pleasure today to be here providing this recognition. So the Microsoft Digital Transformation Project of the Year Award celebrates excellence in digital transformation through cloud and AI technologies. The winning organization will be one that has delivered a highly effective transformation for a customer, such as the integration of disparate systems, updating of our legacy technology, migration to the cloud, or other digital transformation efforts that involve the utilization of our cloud products and services. So let's see who we have as our winning partner, and I have an envelope too. Congratulations to Tech House. So Tech House is a business tech consulting firm and a Microsoft Gold certified partner, providing consulting services and training for corporate and small and medium businesses focused on empowering organizations and communities to make the most of their talents. We all know that small and medium businesses form the backbone of communities and are so critical to support on their digital transformation journeys to ensure that we're driving growth more inclusively and expanding economic opportunity to help bring the best of the Microsoft Cloud to all of those customers and help them grow their business. So congratulations again to Tech House on this incredible accomplishment from all of Microsoft. I'd love to invite Kathy Durfee, CEO and founder of Tech House, to the stage to share more about your amazing impact.
Hi, thank you, Gina. Thank you for everyone for the opportunity to be part of this program. When I started Tech House over 25 years ago, I needed a job to help a family member, and I had no intention of being an entrepreneur. But Microsoft had just started their partner program. And so I emailed them. I think I actually sent a letter in the mail to them about it, and they're incredibly supportive, and they've been a big part of helping me see opportunity and to grow. And because, oh, listen to me, I get to be emotional, right? It's Women in the Cloud. So, for me, it was very powerful to be able to use my talents to help my family and my community. And so to have the opportunity to do that for others is huge. And that's our focus. That's why we exist, to make sure everybody gets a chance to make the most of their talents. So.
Congratulations, Kathy. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing your story. We're so happy to be here celebrating that with you. So well deserved.
Thank you.
All right. And I'll turn the stage back to Patty.
Here we go. I love that. Oh my God, Kathy, that was so unbelievable. Thank you. Here's for you. And for that amazing, amazing award, truly deserved, really. Here's just, I love that hand clap. You can't stop it once it starts, so just know once the hand claps, we got to keep going with it. Okay, now our next award is the award for Insight Cloud Solution of the Year Award, sponsored by Insight. And so the finalists for the Insight Cloud Solution of the Year Award are Victoria Letta from Goldman Sachs, co-head of core engineering for Asia Pac and head of Goldman Sachs publishing platform. Sheffy Robinson from Shamrock Education, she's the CEO and founder. And Sinmi Adioni Esen from Daniola Corporation, CEO and founder, and Garnett Weber iTrax, COO and co-founder. Now, to present the award for the Insight Cloud Solution of the Year is Megan Omdahl. Give her a round of applause for coming up here. Hi, Megan.
Hey, good afternoon. On behalf of Insight and our global leadership team, we are honored to be sponsoring Insight's Cloud Solution Partner of the Year. Insight is intensely focused on working with our partners and in our communities to drive gender equality and significantly improve the representation of women in economic fulfilling jobs in the tech industry. Given the hyper growth within cloud, we believe this is a key segment for us to concentrate our efforts on driving opportunities for women to take on leadership and technical roles through our focus on diversity recruitment, training, and sponsorship. We strongly believe at Insight, the greater the diversity, the greater the business outcomes. The group of finalists all drove significant advancements for gender equality and transformational advancements in cloud. And the decision to choose a winner was a difficult one. It's my pleasure to announce this year's winner of Insight's Cloud Solution of the Year award goes to, drumroll please. It is Sheffy Robinson with Shamrock Education. She is their CEO and founder. Sheffy, congratulations. And I would like to give you a moment to share some remarks and some additional information on how your company is helping drive cloud growth.
Sure. Force development, women and underrepresented populations access work. And that's starting at the school level, where kids are introduced to different careers across multiple genres, whether they're going to just straight into the workforce and even be entrepreneurs. So that with our, especially on the entrepreneur technology to these kids very early, so that they can potentially exit high school with a certification as an AWS architect. How we're trying, definitely trying to make sure as a woman that I'm available and students, because representation matters. And the more we engage with the kids coming behind us and the generation coming behind us, the more we're able to make change.
Thank you, Sheffy, and congratulations. Truly, truly remarkable work that you're doing within this space. And now I'll turn it back over to Catherine to move on to our next award.
Great, thank you both. Our next award, the Accenture Innovative Partnerships Award. The finalists for this award are Brea Starmer, founder and president at Lions and Tigers; Sonia Shorey, Vice President Strategy, Marketing and Communications at Invest Ottawa; and Gail Mercer McKay, CEO and founder at Mercer McKay Solutions. To present the award of Partnership Award is Patty Burrows from Accenture. Welcome, Patty.
Great, thanks, Catherine. Nice to be here. Hi, everybody. I'm Patty Burrows. I'm a managing director with Accenture. I look after our FS technology work in the Midwest, and Accenture is thrilled to be a sponsor of the Innovative Partnership of the Year Award for Women in Cloud. Innovation is really, it's everything to Accenture. We would not be the company that we were if we didn't invest and incent and reward and celebrate innovation day in and day out. So it is an absolute thrill for me to be here representing Accenture and being able to recognize you folks that are truly making a difference in the market, bringing innovation to bear day to day. So I want to first congratulate all the finalists. You all have made such an impact in the work that you're doing day to day. And again, it was a very difficult decision to come down to, but without further ado, I am thrilled to announce the winner of the Innovative Partnership Award today goes to Sonia Shorey from Invest Ottawa. Sonia, please come join me on stage.
My goodness. Thank you so much, Patty. I'm genuinely shocked, and I am so honored to be with all of you today. The stories that have been shared are so moving. Invest Ottawa is an economic development agency. We're lead agency for Canada's capital, and We've had a really, really bumpy road with respect to supporting women leaders in tech and founders. And 4 years ago, with our board and so many partners and stakeholders across our community, we built a strategy. We've been executing against it, creating access, as was so aptly described earlier, to funding, to talent, to programs, services, support, global markets, networks, companies like Accenture, and the many that are assembled here today. And I could not be more honored. I feel like I'm representing Canada's capital and our entire community of women leaders and all those who have supported us in this journey. We are on a path and we love working with all of you, and I'm truly shocked. So I'm a little bit lost for words. I wasn't expecting this.
Well, way to stick with it, Sonia. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think I'm passing it back to Patty.
Okay, here we go. Woo! There's that applause. Woo! Thank you, Patty, and congratulations. Congratulations. I love that. Okay, we're up to award number 5. And award number 5 is the Mela Cloud Technology Deal of the Year Award. And here are the nominees. The finalists for Mela's Cloud Technology Deal of the Year Award are Gail Mercer McKay, Mercer McKay Solutions CEO and founder, and Karen Facio, Microsoft Director Worldwide Partner Marketing. And to present the Mela Cloud Technology Deal of the Year, Ram Dutt. Hi, Ram. Okay.
Hello, hello,
Nice to
hello.
meet
Well, first of all, I am
We can't quite hear you, Ram. We can't hear you. For some reason, you're breaking up. Could you make sure you're in a room where we could hear you? Make sure your volume's up. Thank you.
It is. How about now?
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. Well, I was saying that it is my pleasure to support Women in Cloud, and I have been about supporting them. We have been supporting them since they started. And Mela is one of the founding sponsors of Women in Cloud and has supported this organization since the beginning. Mela's mission is to create economic access through digital transformation. We are an innovative cloud provider with a focus on MarTech innovation with cloud technologies. We ensure that our customers, both big and small, can transform and thrive in the digital space as they look to grow their business. I am privileged to have this opportunity to recognize Cloud Technology Deal of the Year. Like everybody, I also have an envelope that I have created. This award was designed to recognize people who focus on creating new partnerships, coalescing resources, or injecting funds into innovative cloud businesses. So here is my envelope, and the winner is Karen Fazio from Microsoft. And the winner of this award is an individual who led development and launch of Black partner growth initiatives this year and to support Black and African American tech companies and entrepreneurs in the cloud industry. Amazing. She also supported the launch of Black Channel Partner Alliance and grow Black women tech talk community through strategic inclusion, benefits, and investments. She established sustainable processes to help Black founders to become successful cloud businesses. This person, who is our champion here, Karen Fazio, who is Senior Director at Worldwide Partner Marketing at Microsoft. Congratulations, Karen, for your leadership and continued commitment to providing the platform for economic development organization to thrive in this digital space. Your impact will be felt for generations in the Women in Cloud and Black communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I have to say that a lot of the work that I get to do with, you know, with communities and with organizations like Women in Cloud are the basis of how I've been able to kind of continue to evolve that impact to other communities. So it's like one success builds on another success, which then creates this whole concept of community of communities. And that kind of speaks to this whole collective impact that we can create together. So I'm honored to be recognized. I certainly recognize also that there's so much more work and great opportunity ahead for all of us. And I just want to say thank you for the recognition, and we're here to keep going. So thank you again.
Fantastic. Thank you. Patty, on to you.
Catherine comes up for the next. Thanks, Catherine.
Hey, Patty. Awesome. So let's see. On to the next. Karen, congratulations. On to the next award. The finalists for the Women in Cloud Advisor of the Year Award. First, this award celebrates the advisors and mentors who continued to advance and support women entrepreneurs during the COVID-19 pandemic by unlocking their Rolodex, volunteering their time, and sharing their knowledge. These finalists are Lisa Opoku, Partner and Chief Operating Officer of Engineering at Goldman Sachs, Phillips, Vice President, U.S. Channel Sales at Microsoft, and Terrence Craig, Chief Investment Officer at the Impact Seat. And I am going to be the award announcer today, and it is Lisa Opoku from Goldman Sachs. Unfortunately, Lisa isn't able to join us today, so I'll be accepting this award on her behalf. I just want to read to you a little bit about Lisa, and as I was reading this, I was so inspired by the work that she's done. So as I mentioned, she's the Global Chief Operating Officer of the Engineering Division at Goldman Sachs and the firm's global strategist. She is the co-chair of the America's Inclusion and Diversity Committee, a sponsor of the firm-wide Black Network, and a member of the firm's Women's Network. She sits on the board of advisors of Launch GS, Goldman Sachs' $500 million commitment to invest in companies and investment managers with diverse leadership. Lisa works closely with early stage companies and mentors and invests in technology companies with diverse founders. Lisa also serves as co-chair of the steering committee for Goldman Sachs' 1 Million Black Women Initiative. She's a member of the board of directors for the Institute of Health Equity Research at Mount Sinai and is actively involved in the Dikembe Mutombo Foundation and the Vera Institute of Justice. Lisa continuously goes above and beyond her role to support her community. Manager to many, mentor to the lucky, and friend to all, Lisa's primary focus in her day-to-day is improving the experiences of others. Wow. Patty, back to you.
That is fantastic. I love that. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Well, and especially Catherine, such a good job as a presenter and accepting that award on her behalf. That was just fantastic. All right. So our next award is the Women in Cloud Investor of the Year Award. Now, the Investor of the Year Award has gone above and beyond to invest in the entrepreneurs that are part of the cloud community. They've just really risen the bar. They've stood up for them. They've supported them in all ways. And I want to tell you about the finalists. Here they are. The finalists for the Women in Cloud Investor of the Year Award are Victoria Pettibone, Astia, Managing Director. Sharon Vosmek, Astia, CEO. Carlotta Siniscalco from Emergence Capital, the principal. I'm pleased to present the award for Women in Cloud Investor of the Year to the winner. I'm going to have to present it myself, who is Sharon Vosmek, Astia, CEO. Woo! Fantastic. Now, if you don't know much about Sharon Vosmek, I'm just going to tell you a few things about her because she's a rock star. She's the CEO of Astia, managing director of the Astia Fund, and a managing member of Astia Angels. Astia is the preeminent organization working to ensure the success of high-growth startups founded and led by women. It's a global investment group comprised of family offices and HNW individual investment. They invest directly into women-led high-growth companies. She's well regarded around the globe for her opinions, research, and commentary on the importance of women leaders as integral to innovation and high-performing entrepreneurial companies. Congratulations, Sharon Vosmek. You're fantastic. Okay, Catherine, back to you.
Sounds great. Okay, on to the M12 Women in Technology Outstanding Leadership Award. The finalists for this award are Marie Smith, CIO and co-founder at Data 360, Sarah Menker, CEO and founder at Grow Intelligence, Vandana Verma Sagal, security advocate at SNCC, Natalia Zveska, CIO Video Wiki, and Cheryl Ingram, CEO and founder at Inclusology. To present the award for the M12 Women in Technology Outstanding Leadership Award is Elisa Garcia Anzano from M12. Elisa, come join me on stage.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for joining us. A few remarks. At Microsoft and M12, diversity, equity, and inclusion are a core principle of everything we do. We've been sponsoring Women in Cloud since 2018. We used to sponsor a dinner for Women in Cloud community members at Microsoft Inspire. This year, we think it's more important than ever to help accelerate women in technology, and we are honored to be able to partner with Women in Cloud to do so. At M12, Microsoft Ventures group, we are laser focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Global venture funding increased by 4% year over year, and female-funded startups decreased by 27%. At the same time, companies led by women are more capital efficient, achieving 35% higher ROI, and when venture-backed, 12% higher revenue than startups run by men. So all this to say that it's critical for the venture community more than ever to go find these female founders and diverse founders out there because we are certainly misrepresented. Personally, I've been in technology for more than 15 years, and I've been lucky to have great leaders as mentors to support me in my career. That's why I do all I can to pay it forward. We will break the glass ceiling by continuing supporting one another. I couldn't be more proud to be presenting the Women in Technology Outstanding Leadership Award. And finally, the winner is Sarah Menker, CEO and founder of Grow Intelligence. Congratulations, Sarah. And unfortunately, she's not here with us today, so I'll be accepting this award on her behalf. I'm going to talk a little bit about Sarah and her company. Grow Intelligence is a software company focused on the global food and agricultural markets. Through Grow, users can extract powerful insights and access predictive modeling at a scale never before possible. They funnel trillions of data points into a powerful singular experience. Grow Intelligence enables a comprehensive, holistic, and timely picture of global agriculture. How inspiring. So a little bit more about Sarah. Sarah's a trustee of the Mandela Institute for Development Studies and a trustee of the International Center for Tropical Agriculture. Sarah was named a Global Young Leader by the World Economic Forum and is a fellow of the African Leadership Initiative of the Aspen Institute. So she's certainly an inspiring leader. Congratulations, Sarah. I hope to meet you in person very soon. And back at you, Catherine. Oh, Patty. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries. Catherine, come up here for a second. My co-presenter with me, Catherine. I just want to say to you, to all of the winners today, you were fantastic. You were amazing. And you, Catherine, this is for you.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you. What an amazing group of women to celebrate.
So fantastic to be here. And congratulations to all of the winners. And I just want to say that there were a few things I forgot. One was I had a card and I was supposed to pull it out, but I forgot that. So, but I did have my sound effects ready to go. Now, I know that some of you are just really so excited. There are ways that you can get involved, right? You want to join the Women in Cloud Digital Network. You want to make your voice heard. You want to become a speaker. You want to unlock access, so become an advisor and request solution demos. Go to the solution marketplace to find those. And you want to apply for a Cloud Accelerator 6.0, look for that information because all of that is possible to you. Now, we are going to do two things. One is we're going to go take a networking break, or we're putting into the chat right now how you get to the Cloud Exec Connect, which is going to happen. And entrepreneurs, get ready to get connected because there are over 40 advisors unlocking potential access for you to help you get access to customers, to partners, to investors, to ideas. They're there to really mentor and help you, advise you, and get you going. So join us at that link that they just put in the chat. And I can't wait to see you. Be sure to go out and network, people. This has been a fantastic inaugural cloud event. I hope you wore your cloud couture and that you'll give your cloud awards to people informally that you thought should deserve it at your table group when you go and see them. Okay, I'll see you later. Go out there, network, go to CloudX Connect. We'll see you soon.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us in this Exec Connect. I want to thank you for the invitation to open up this session. The invitation means a lot to me, as does the community and the friendships that I've made through Women in Cloud. And I'm a bit curious. So using chat, I want to see how many people attending today, this is your first Women in Cloud event. Go ahead and chat and let us know. For me, I remember my first Women in Cloud event. It was over 3 years ago. Yay, I see some first-time attendees, yay. So my first event, it was 3 years ago. And I was excited, I was nervous. I was looking for a community of professional women, and I was so grateful to have found Women in Cloud. Then there was this anxiety around networking. What am I going to say, to whom, to why? And I didn't know then what I know now. And that is Women in Cloud is a collective of amazing, amazing women who are committed to supporting each other and creating access. Women in Cloud's mission, you've heard it earlier, but it is to lead in closing the gender poverty gap by generating over 1 billion in net new global economic access for women entrepreneurs by the year 2030. That's a key reason why we're here today. While all of us are here today, is because we can help one another and contribute to that economic access. Did you know that women were more significantly impacted during the pandemic than our male counterparts? We saw some data points a little bit earlier from the 2021 COVID impact study. And with the pandemic, structural inequalities were magnified across all aspects of personal and professional life. Women on average earn less than men for the same work. They had more single-parent households, and they hold a disproportionately higher number of jobs, more susceptible to economic downturns. Interestingly, research shows that lifting the world out of extreme poverty by 2030 would cost an estimated $2.3 trillion in purchasing power parity. The comparative cost of closing the gender poverty gap is an estimated 49 billion. So you can see how impactful Women in Cloud's mission is, right? And how impactful it will be. Today's event, this Exec Connect, is one step in achieving that mission. We can create infinite opportunities and access to people, network, and financing. We simply need 3 things. 1 is the ask, 2 is to listen, and 3 is to take action. Asking can be the most difficult part. So let's start here. Let's start here and now. I struggle with asking for help, but it's also been the greatest and most uplifting power in my life. So let's take a moment in chat and practice our ask. Go ahead and type what your ask or need is. Why are you here today in the Exec Connect? I'm here, my need, my ask is because I took on a new role within Microsoft and I want to quickly ramp on a new industry, looking at operational aspects and the customer journey. I want to hear from people who are in the industry and connect, understand what's important to them. All right, so I got a couple of direct chats in terms of what people are looking for, which is great, but go ahead and enter it into the general chat too. There we go. I see a few coming in. Yeah. So now you have your ask out into the universe, right? You've asked the universe for what you need. You have the opportunity to have your need fulfilled within the supportive and connective Women in Cloud community. I'm excited about the infinite opportunities that are available to us all and the connections that we are going to make. Most of all, I want you to enjoy yourself, have fun meeting fellow attendees and the conversations that you're going to have. So Riza, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I think you're going to give us some general know-hows on how to interact and move throughout Remo for the Exec Connect session.
Thank you so much, Pruitt. What a great introduction. And I saw some comments in the chat. Someone said, you know, that you were putting their feelings into words, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, what you said to really set the stage for how people should approach this experience is so true and so important. Knowing and being comfortable with asking is really, you know, that's the skill you want to really develop and just be confident in doing that. So thanks, Pruitt. As you mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and start us off with explaining how we're going to go through this networking experience. So first up, I am going to actually share with you a brief video because we are in a virtual space which may not be familiar to all of you. And we use the Remo platform for a lot of our experiences here at Women in Cloud. And the reason for that is because it's highly focused around networking, and we want you to be able to move to different tables, meet lots of different people today, and walk away with new ideas. So what you're gonna learn is how to navigate when we are in the lounge experience and how you'll be able to connect with folks. After the video, I'll come back and talk more about where you can find the advisors today. And we'll bring a couple of them up on stage with me so they can introduce themselves to you, and then just let us know what their ask is today and what you can ask of them. So we're just gonna go into this video and get started there. All right, so everybody, those of you that are familiar with Remo and our Women in Cloud events, I'm sure you've seen that before, but I hope that those that are new to our community learned how you're going to navigate today. As Paul mentioned in that video, there are multiple floors, so we want to make sure that you know where to go as an advisor to find your own table, and then also as entrepreneurs or other members of the community that are looking to meet with these leaders that we have here with us today. So there's just a couple more things I want to share with you before we get started. The experience here is all meant to engage, right? You're going to be able to meet with speakers, advisors, or mentors and other attendees in the networking lounge. And there are 4 topics that they're going to be covering today. So we have it split out into different floors. And on floor 1, you'll be able to find all of the advisors that are talking about business partnerships. We also have on floors 2 and 3, because we have a lot of advisors that have raised their hand to offer guidance on leadership advancement. So on the 2nd and 3rd floor, when we go back to the lounge, you'll be able to find that. Then on floor 4, we have exploring a cloud solution purchasing, and then also investor relationships. So you can find both of those topics on those floors. So how do these conversations work? So Michelle Pruitt actually touched on some of this in her remarks, right? You want to make sure that you show up. This is all about creating give and get access. Don't be shy. So if you find yourself sitting alone at a table for more than 5 minutes, don't worry. Just double click on an open seat at another table and join some other folks to get in a conversation with them. So how it will work is that the advisors will be seated at their specific tables, and it has their, the first name and the topic that they'll be discussing. And attendees will move from table to table to meet with them. We're actually going to do this in 3 rounds of 20 minutes. So before we even start, like I said, I'm going to have a couple advisors come up and just introduce themselves to you. And then then we'll go into the first round of 20 minutes. We'll come back and talk about how that first experience went. We'll have some folks share their key takeaways and how they enjoyed that experience before going into the second round and then the third round. Now, after the sort of structured networking, we're going to do something really fun to close out today's Cloud Exec Connect experience. Again, this is all about meeting people. So we're going to have a speed random networking for 10 minutes each. So what I'll do at that point is we'll come back, I'll explain how it'll work, and essentially everybody's just going to get shuffled all around to different tables and meet an entirely new set of folks. We'll close out the day sharing about what we learned from each other. If you made those asks and if you were able to get answers to what you were seeking today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and invite just a couple of the advisors up here with me to join me on stage. So to find out who's brave today. Any brave advisors out there, just go ahead and click raise hand and I'll bring you on stage with me. Otherwise, I'll start finding people. I see we have a couple. Excellent. So we have a couple ready to go. So I'll start bringing you all up on stage. So Kim, please join me. Michelle, please join me. You'll see a notification. George, Ellie, Giovanna. Oh, great. Boy, lots of brave people here today. That's amazing. I love that. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get you all on. And if I don't get you up in this round, don't worry, I can get you on in the second round. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining and raising your hands to create economic access for women in technology, right? Breaking down those barriers and having people get access to things they would otherwise not have that access to. So I'd like to go around and have each of you introduce yourselves and share with us what your ask is today, right? Because this is a give and get experience. And also share, finish the sentence very briefly, meet with me to learn about blank, okay? And you can also let people know what your topic is so they can easily find you on the floor plan when we go to the lounge. So let's start out. Let's go with Kim. Kim, why don't you unmute and tell us about yourself?
Great. Hi there, everyone. My name is Kim Aftergood. I'm with Accenture. I'm a managing director there and a huge cloud lover. So very excited to be here. I'm going to be facilitating a table on leadership advancement. And if you come to my table, we're going to be talking about, one of the topics we'll talk about is advocacy for advancement. So I hope to see you there.
Thanks so much, Kim. Let's go with Giovanna.
Hey everyone, I am Giovanna Mingarelli and I am the founder of MNC Consulting. We're a digital communications and marketing firm. And I will be facilitating a table about business partnerships. And if you come to my table, we will be talking about various business opportunities, partnerships, and alliances, how to make those happen, and some of the most optimal ways of securing new partners and advancement. I look forward to meeting you.
Thanks, Giovanna. Let's go with John Yankee.
Hey everyone, I'm John Yankee. I'm CEO of Tackle, and we help software companies sell through the cloud marketplaces, and I will be in the business partnerships floor, and specifically talking about partnering with Microsoft as a seed and Series A and Series B company, which we did all three of those. My ask would be, we have tons of open roles and would love to connect with amazing women in cloud that would want to join a company like ours. So look forward to speaking to everybody.
All right, thanks, John. George, we'll have you go next.
Oh, thank you so much. George Safakis, CEO of IdeaGen. We work closely with Microsoft and Women in Cloud to scale all of this incredible work globally. Join my table to learn more about the global goals of the United Nations, those 17 global goals that were unanimously to by every single member state, all 193 member states of the UN, including the United States of America. And one of those is empowering women and girls. And that's what we're doing with Women in Cloud, empowering women and girls and organizations across the world and cross-sector partnerships. So thank you very much. Hope to see you there.
Great. Thank you, George. Let's go to Michelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Rowe. I am the Director of Leadership and Diversity and Organization Development at Insight. So happy to be here today. I have been in the channel and in tech since 2001. And I absolutely love just getting to network with people and talk about leadership. If you come to my table, it's really a 360. It's how do you create coveted, incredible leadership development programs? How do you focus on making sure that like our teammate resource group, Women with Insight, really helping them to advance and grow. Also people who want to move into leadership, but then taking it to the other side and saying, if you are a leader, how do you foster and grow and develop? And that's what we'll be talking about today.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Tina, you're up next.
It's really hard to follow Michelle. So I'm Tina Pengel, and I'm the VP of Lifecycle Strategy at Global PMO at Insight as well. And I'm really interested in hearing the challenges that people are facing with their leadership development and really brainstorm within the group of things that people are doing to address those challenges. One of the key things that I like to talk about is managing your network and how to build your network to help you advance in your leadership path.
Thank you, Tina. Ellie, we'll go to you next.
Hi, everyone. Ellie Wu. I'm the VP of Customer Experience at BugCrowd. We're in crowdsourced cybersecurity, so it's been a fun space to get into. I'm going to be on the leadership advancement floor and happy to share the lessons I've learned as I think about advancing as an underdog. No matter which level I think we all get to, there's always that little piece of the underdog that lives inside each of us that has to get a little bit scrappy and creative, and happy to share those lessons with the folks at my table.
Much, Ellie. And then last but certainly not least, Emily.
Thank you. My name is Emily Carlson, and I'm the Vice President of Technology for Divergent. We are a healthcare consulting firm helping to grow and expand provider organizations and help providers experience less physician burnout and clinical burnout over the course of especially the past year. I'll be on the leadership floor, and really what I want to discuss and hear about is your feelings on authenticity as you advance through leadership. So why it's important to maintain who you are regardless of the level, and why it's important to retain truly who you are to yourself as you grow and advance in your career. And I look forward to getting to meet some new people.
Thank you. And actually last, and actually certainly not least, is Dr. Everestus Mensah. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Everestus.
Thank you, Reza. And Stacy, eagle-eyed Stacy, spotted me as well. So I'm Everestus Mensah. I'm the General Manager for IBM's Hybrid Cloud and Edge ecosystem. I am all in on the mission that you heard Michelle describe so brilliantly for what Women in Cloud stands for and what we can all contribute to access. And so please join my table today to find out about how to collaborate, how to partner with IBM, and just all sort of messages around ecosystem. And of course, we're always on the lookout for great women as well. So please join and let's have a great conversation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. And like I said, we're going to go into the first round now. It's going to be 20 minutes. So I'll give you all a few minutes to find your tables first. So, so advisors. And again, just a reminder, we're going to have business partnerships on floor 1, leadership advancement on floors 2 and 3, and then exploring cloud solution purchasing and investor relationships on floor 4. I've posted a link in the chat where you can easily use it as a reference to identify which leader is talking about which topic. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to take us back to the lounge and we'll see you out there. Have fun.
Hello, everyone. How was the rounds? How did it go? Good? Show me with emojis. That will be no. Fantastic. I actually want to bring Karen on the stage. Karen, come on over as a co-founder. Come on over with me. I want to ask you a few questions and then get the audience to know what's next, what's going to happen next. So first, Karen, how was it for you? 2 days plus Microsoft Inspire. How was it?
You know, it's been a constant stream, I think, of inspiration. And what I love about, you know, the sort of parallel events that are happening with the big conference that kind of is the big draw, and then the community focused sessions is like you get to go from macro to micro to macro to micro. Like it's just, you know, it's really expansive in every way. So you take these big themes and then you can bring it down to local impact, to personal impact. It's very holistic, but I have to say I am overwhelmed with like so much coming in from, you know, sessions to just people sharing personal experiences. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for and so much to learn from each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. How did the networking go for you? Did you meet any cool people? And also in the chat, please let me know. Did you meet some cool people? Give a loud shout out to them.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, lots of follow-up meetings that will now take place. It's like, this is what we mean by access, right? Like to be able to have conversations that are productive. And they could be productive from like just maybe even just personal, you know, personal exchanges, you know, learning a little bit more about somebody beyond the title and the position that they may hold.
Exactly.
You know, you can take a look at people's crazy backgrounds, what they've got going on in their personal office. You know, and then also just, you know, what's you know, what are you trying to get done? Like, what are you trying to achieve? And then realizing, oh, hey, if you changed it just a little bit here, we can actually probably do something together and actually make something more together. Like that's synergy. So yeah, all that all day long.
And Karen, I think you have a new book title, is Beyond the Title, is your new book title. Because I think it will be amazing stories that you can write about, because when you take the title off, when humans come in with truly themselves, that's where the real access is created, right? That's where the real dialogues are done. So fantastic. So I'm really excited. So for everybody who's watching, what did you learn and who did you meet today? Just give a loud shout out. Let's give some love to people who really opened their Rolodex for each other. And then Karen, what I have is we are doing the closing today. Do you have any closing remarks? I have a couple of things to share and then we wrap it up. It's Friday afternoon. Everybody should get a glass of champagne or maybe a coffee or a drink, whatever that makes them excited. So
yeah, maybe I'll just leave with one comment, and that's you know, to thank everyone for the contributions you are bringing to the community. Whether you're formally a part of an advisory, if you're participating in any one of the initiatives that your, you know, companies like Microsoft, Accenture, Hitachi, others that are also co-investing in, that whether you're, you know, offering some mentorship or you're just sharing that ticket to attend an event. It's all a part of advocacy and allyship. So let's just keep that going. I think you're hearing a lot of things around so much more potential that we'll be able to do together. There's so much room for opportunity. And that's not just a marketing statement. There's real opportunity for us as women in this industry and women who are trying to make things, produce things and bring them to market. So let's just take one goal and just grind on it and get it done. And when you're a part of this community, we're here to help 1,000 women get their first $1 million. 1,000 women, their first $1 million. That's what it's going to take. And we can do that. We can definitely do that together. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and Karen, totally. With the first acquisition that happened by Neiman Marcus, that happened, right? That truly happened. We have other companies who are getting millions of dollars they're coming, but they have to go through the grind, focus, get your solution up and running, and we go from there. Okay, Karen, so first is thank you so much for all the support from Microsoft and from you for making this possible for the ecosystem. So I want to thank you personally and for all these sponsors who make this possible. So there are a few things I have, and if you want to stay, you can stay on the screen, but I have a couple of slides I will run through so you know all the things that are coming. One is the solution marketplace is up and running. We have 50 solutions there. And if you're an entrepreneur, and yes, Raisa, you should put the video on if possible. So I would love everybody to take a look at what the solution marketplace does for the entrepreneurs. If you know any entrepreneur and they need massive digital marketing access and needs to be showcased in the world, then they should be there in that one. We have 40 plus solutions right now. And we are aiming to get to 100 by the end of the year. So we need everyone's contribution to identify these companies and put them in this ecosystem so we can share it with all the Fortune brands. The second thing is I want to do a loud shout out to the entire Women in Cloud team who put that together. So Riza, Erin, Faranda, Grace, Sammy, I think I'm missing Vinay, Stevia, all of you. Thank you so much for stepping in to make that possible. And Holly for creating some beautiful creatives for making magic happen. So without that, we couldn't have done it. And okay, Riza, I'll stop talking so you can share the video. There you go. How was that? Was the video clear for all of you? Clear? Yes? Perfect. Okay, Riza, there are 3 more announcements I have for you. And then after that, all of us can go and have party tonight, okay? Okay, so there are a couple of upcoming events that are coming, which is the next week on July 23rd. This is the roadmap to unlocking enterprise contracts. This is how to This is where you get the secrets. This is where you understand all the details you need. All the experts will be there, as well as you will have the networking component there. So it's only for 2.5 hours, really immersive. Ask the question, whatever you want. So that will be focused on that session. It's like a mini accelerator, but in 2.5 hours, not 6 months. And the second one is the Accenture Connect is coming, which is the Fortune 100 Lunch and Learn series. So I'm really thankful to Gina Frater-Kanjali, who joined the board of advisors and the board of directors, and the Patty Burrow really working with us to really create this access for entrepreneurs to work with Accenture and take the solutions to market. So that will be a place where you get to connect with them. So all of you, if you have not experienced Fortune Lunch and Learn series, you are missing something cool, because the last one was fabulous with Hitachi and Google. So please don't miss this one. And we'll also have a reverse pitching happening at this particular event, so you'll know what Accenture is looking for too. The next one that's coming is we promised that we will provide micro internship opportunities to youth during January. So it took us 6 months to really go through the entire process. So we have 6 kids who have been given micro internship opportunities with Women in Cloud. We are partnered with Creative Children for Charity. And all the 6 kids, they meet every week. We have mentors assigned to them. They're working on AI ethics, working on anti-bullying project. They're working on mentoring solution. So all these 6, please make sure you're providing them access, because we will reach out to them. So these kids are coming in and really creating massive access for youth in their ecosystem. So we have kids from Bahamas, we have kids from US, and we have kids from I think we have one from India too. So we have a very collective group, and this is going to be fabulous to see young kids being supported through the work that we do. Okay. The Empower Her Access, this is a corporate pledge program that's happening. So if any one of you are here from the Fortune brands, I want you to really take this notice, because we are reaching out to 100 Fortune companies to really have their CEOs and the board really do a corporate pledge to really create access, because we need 100 Fortune companies to come together, create a corporate pledge and say that they are going to increase the representation of women, and they're going to focus on supplier diversity, channel diversity, and leadership diversity, so women can be well represented. So if you know of anyone who is a C-level executive at Fortune, please get them connected to us. It will make a huge difference, because the faster we connect, the faster we can realize the goals by 2030. Okay. And the last one we have is the COVID-19 report. You all heard that one this morning. That report is coming next week. Stay tuned. You'll have a data pack. You'll have the full report. You'll have the presentation. Use that to educate your company to see what's happening for women, because if entrepreneurs are facing, it's exactly very similar women in the organization are facing. It's an identical set of problems that they are working through. So this particular report will also have recommendations that you could use within your company to really accelerate the representation, relief, and access to everyone. And the last one is the Empower Her Access, Empower Her Family initiative that we are doing in India. But it's a global framework that we are putting together. Once the framework is ready, we can replicate in different parts of the world. So we have Nepal interested, Indonesia, Philippines, Brazil, Africa. So there are multiple places in Africa. So that framework we are piloting right now in India. If we can solve for that country, we can solve for any other country, because it's 1.3 billion population. So we will be able, what I'm asking for you is, if you know of any nonprofit foundations or a nonprofit or an NGO of India, who are supporting a women ecosystem, we want to know them, because we are mobilizing a certain set of resources. And once we pilot that, it'll take us like 6 months to 8 months to pilot. Once that happens, that framework will be available for the rest of the world to use, and that can be used for accelerating I would say, monumental access for women. So at the end of the day, these are all the programs that are coming. We want you to be connected, be engaged, create more access. As Merit said this morning, the scarcity, there's no scarcity. It's really, there's a lot of abundance. It's just to create access to the abundance is very important. And collectively, we have that access, and let's make sure we create abundance for everyone in the ecosystem. And the last one is thanking all my sponsors, all our community partners who have made this a possibility. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to all of you for showing up and being the economic igniters in the tech industry, because you are the champion for future. And again, loud shout out to the entire team for Women in Cloud who made that possible. If you're here, please come on the stage. I think everybody should see you. Everybody should give you love. And all the board of advisors, if you are here, you should come on the stage. And thank you for doing what you do every day. Really appreciate it.
All right, Chai, I'm on, and I'm bringing on some board of advisors here as well.
Okay, fantastic work, ladies. I know it was not easy to pull that off. And Joe, thank you. So all of you, thank you so much for making this possible. Without that, this event would not have happened. So please give them some love. Show me with those emojis and put on the chat, because these are the people who create access on scale, on amazing scale, worldwide, and you have done it. Thank you all for doing it. Okay,
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Round of applause for everyone who showed up. Perfect. Thank you all, and we will be in the lounge. I would love to connect with you if you're free. Other than that, have a fantastic time. We'll come back during Hunger, which is around September, October time, and we'll do another signature event. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.